Hi everyone, it's Lucy from My Crazy Craft Life, and I am here with a design team post for Scrapping for Less. My favorite thing stamp, Bokeh, I think that's how you pronounce it, building, Bokeh Building. I had to look it up because I wasn't entirely sure what it was, but it's an art form of photo taking when you have like a center image or an image that's completely in focus and the rest of it's not, and it kind of sometimes has the rings and it looks like circles are all over, but it really centralizes that focus, which it all kind of makes sense now with what the sentiments say. But I wasn't really sure on how to do that or what I was going to do, so I decided to just kind of jump in and start playing around. So today I'm making this card that I started here, and then I am also going to be making a bunch of backgrounds that I'm going to use in my posts later on in the month along with the other things, because after I kind of started making backgrounds with it, although when I first started I wasn't really sure what to do, after I kind of got started with it I really enjoyed it and I liked it a lot. So this one I was using the piece of acetate over because I kept having to move the stamp, and I just pulled out all my Distress ink cubes because I've been using the oxide so much lately. I figured I gotta give them some love. But I just pulled them all out, but sometimes I would have to stamp them more than once, so that's why I wanted to use the Mini Misty. But then because I was moving it around the card, I was just using the piece of acetate to kind of stamp, or not completely clean the stamp off, but so that I could lay it and position it where I wanted to, and then just move that off. One thing I will say that I almost did when I was doing this is if you're using the acetate method of putting on the stamp on there, make sure you don't flip your acetate over so you have the dirty side on the bottom, because yes, I almost did that. So I just decided to kind of make a circle. There's a 3 circle in there that was not exactly curved perfectly circular, but I thought it would kind of be a cool thought to do, and it ended up working out really well. So I was just, like I said, taking a lot of different Distress inks and just stamping all over them. Now they're interesting because they have actually solid stamps, and then they have some that just have lines through it, and then they have other ones that are more checkered. And so this one I was just using the solid stamps for the center ones, and then the lined stamps I used kind of for the outside. And I cut this down for an A2 size card, 4.5 by, no, 4 1/4 by 5.5. And then the front panel, which is the one with the stamps on there, I decided just to use the, I decided to cut down to the 4 by 5 1/4 so that I would have a little edge on there. I heat embossed Focus on What Matters onto the card. I just put it directly onto the panel. And then I popped this up with some foam tape. I went back and forth with what card base I wanted to use, and I went with a dark blue card base. And then I took a panel, since that was dark blue, and put it on the inside so you could write your note. And then I used my glossy accent because I was going back and forth if I wanted to put sequins or something else on it, but I just thought it was cool with that. But so what I did with the, not glossy accents, I'm sorry, the Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, I just, every other row I put the sparkle on, just to give it a little something extra. And then this is where I start just making tons and tons of backgrounds. I wanted to make some fun looking ones, I wanted to make some manly looking ones, I wanted to make so that I could make more masculine cards, and I have, like I said, some other posts that are coming up this month that I'm going to be using these backgrounds on, because once I got started I kind of really loved it and just went crazy and made, I don't know how many, like 10 or 12 backgrounds. So I will be using those on some of my posts in the future. I didn't leave all of the video in here while I was making all of the different backgrounds because a lot of it was just kind of the same kind of technique. Like this one, I just started stamping with the smallest one, went up to the next size, and then went to the largest. And then sometimes I would go back in at the end and fill in areas that I wanted it to have more or that looked a little bare. There was really no rhyme or reason for why I was going this way or what I was doing, whereas in the first one I kind of had more of a process on what I was thinking. I wanted to make that circle kind of go in with the larger circles on the outside and then going into the smallest circle on the inside. But with most of these, like I said, I was just using my distress inks, making sure if I needed to double stamp it. But this one, I decided I wanted to make, in a straight line, and I was going to make it kind of a gradient color where it went from like an orange to a lighter to yellow. But I ended up going too far with the orange. So then it didn't quite work out right, so then I decided to stamp over it, which I actually thought was kind of cool because one of the things I realized is you could use the solid stamps and then stamp over them with like either the checkered pattern or the line pattern and kind of make different colors and just give it a cool effect. Or you could take the line stamps and kind of make a diagonal or like diamond pattern in there. So after I made this one, like I said, I decided I didn't really like it and I wanted to change it up a little bit. So then I put other colors on top of it to make different ones on some of them, just kind of going with every other one. And I used the lined one after the beginning couple rows. And then that was kind of all with that one. And then this one, I literally just stamped all over, all different colors. And kind of just wanted to make a really fun, bright background with it. So again, there was no rhyme or reason. This one I did decide I wanted to use all the same size. And then when it kind of looked bare in some areas, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to actually put down the smaller one too. And then as I was doing it, I made a mistake and I kind of overlapped one. And then I thought, oh, well, that looks kind of cool, so maybe I'll start overlapping. So the distress inks are kind of cool to do that. You can overlap them and they'll kind of blend together and not look completely crazy. It actually kind of looks like something's overlapping where another one is over there. So I really liked that. So like I said, I just wanted to put in a couple different ways or techniques that I did things. And then at the end, they will show you a photo of all of the backgrounds that I made because, like I said, I went a little crazy. And then there's the card. So I want to thank everybody for joining me. I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.